So, I often get asked, what is the most scariest, most disturbing horror film I have ever seen within the past 10 years? I think if you were to ask me what goes over those past 10 years, say the last 15 years, I would probably say something like Sinister was probably the scariest movie I've seen in a long time. And going back, say 20 years when I was, like an early teenager, the movies just get more ridiculous and even more ridiculous. Like Blade 2, I believe, was probably the scariest film I saw when it came out. But I was a lot younger back then. So if you were to ask me, hey, Matthew, what's the scariest film you've seen in the last 10 years? I would probably have to say The Sadness. This is a film that I watched once and I was so deeply disturbed. I thought that was probably the most disgusting film, most disturbing film I've ever seen. But I thought of something straight away after watching it. In fact, I thought about it when my friends sent me the trailer to The Sadness. And that was, this movie has to have a massive, and I mean a massive, inspiration from the comic book Crossed. Now, after watching the film for the first time, I could definitely see that there was an influence of the Crossed comic books in this film. So I did more kind of research into the director, Rob Jabbaz. I think that's how I say his last name, Jabbaz, I'm not too sure. And kind of watching him, and he kind of even admitted himself that, yes, he was heavily influenced by the Crossed comic book series. So anyway, I'm getting sidetracked right now. So what I'm trying to say is, after the first time I watched it, I thought all of these things, and I thought this movie is so disturbing and so gory and so disgusting, I don't think I'm ever going to watch it again. Anyway, fast forward 2 years later, and I decided to give it a second watch. And that was when the nightmares started. See, I am a diehard zombie lover. Okay, anything that's kind of zombie related, anything that's kind of got to do with a infection, a virus, or whatever, I absolutely froth those films, pun intended. And I think that's because it's something that I know for a fact will never happen. I know for a fact that it is impossible for brain dead corpses coming back from the dead, even though they couldn't possibly have a heartbeat, going around and eating people. I just know that's never going to happen. But when you get a film like The Sadness, a film that has got to do with a virus that drives people crazy, and I know 28 Days Later, for me, shares kind of this a similar thing. It's this virus that makes you think, what if? It's a virus that makes you think, what if this actually happened today? Because, zombies, Walking Dead zombies, they're not, that's, to me, that's just childish. I don't think that can happen. But if you get a sadness zombie or a 28 Days Later infected, it really makes you start to have nightmares, in my case at least. But the nightmares watching The Sadness were way worse, okay? Because if you've seen The Sadness, you would understand just how fucked up these infected zombie people are. So it begged the question, could they possibly pull off a Crossed film? And lo and behold, there is a Crossed film coming out. In fact, it's been confirmed. And what makes this even more kind of full cycle is Rob Jabbaz. Jabbaz. I'm really sorry if I keep butchering his name. Rob, if you're watching this, which I doubt you are, I'm sorry. Is the director. That's just crazy to me. I'd not, if you were to make a Crossed film, which he is, and it's even more confirmed because the cast has been confirmed of who's playing who, and from what it sounds like, it's heavily based on the first set of comics, which, if you had read like me, they're really fucking crazy. And if you want to kind of see something that would put you in a hole like it did with me, I highly suggest you read it. Because, look, put aside the absolute fucked up stuff that happens in it, and I remember someone on Reddit said that the Cross series was like if the Edgelord kid at school made a comic book. He's 100% correct, because The stuff inside this comic book is just so over the top. And the writers, Garth Ennis, who also did the Boys comic book series, so you could probably understand just how crazy the Crossed is. They would do whatever it could to see just how far they could possibly push the bar, so to speak. They thought, let's just put the most fucked up stuff inside this comic book and just see what we can get away with. And I'm surprised with some of the stuff that they used that they could have possibly gotten away with. I mean, you think of the most worst stuff that you could possibly put inside a comic, let alone a freaking film. If the film goes ahead, which I'm pretty positive it is, this movie would have to be heavily censored. Or if it's not heavily censored, it would be sitting on the same shelf as I Spit on Your Grave, Trauma, which if you've seen that film, it's really fucking disgusting. I'm getting sidetracked again. All I'm trying to say is there is a Crossed movie coming, and it's going to be fucking crazy if it goes exactly like on the comics. There are certain parts in the comic books that I was like, wow, what the fuck? Anyway, are you a fan of the Cross comic books? I've got a couple of Cross comic books somewhere in the house. I did move maybe just almost a year ago, and they've just been sitting somewhere in storage. I don't know where they are. They are a pretty good series. Like, they're really fucked up, but the series is actually pretty interesting. I recommend reading volume 1 and just leaving it at that, because I feel like curiosity is what killed the cat. If you are interested in reading that sort of stuff, I suggest just reading volume 1. And if you really want to kind of push the boundary, read Family Values, because that one is really, really gross. Or Psychopath. Psychopath is absolutely disgusting, and there are kind of images in that book that have been burnt into my brain and they will not leave. So read at your own risk, I suppose. Anyway, what do you think? Do you think the Cross film is going to be good, considering the guy who did The Sadness is directing it, and considering he sounds like a giant fan of the comic books, will he do it justice? Let me know in the comments. If you like these types of videos, please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. See ya.